Let me see. Let me see. Are we live? Hello. Hello. Let me just check that we are live, you guys.
See that we are.
And just this moment, I forgot my channel name. So, oops. I'm like going to search if the live show is already populated. I'm like, what's my channel name again?
Who am I and what are we doing?
Okay, yeah, yeah, we're all live. So, hello, everyone.
Hey, hey, hey.
We are here for our first ever reading sprint.
Yes,
We
yes.
did announce that. Oh, let me give us our little introduction. So, hi, my name is Charles from Channel Books on Stereo. If you're on my channel, you should know who I am. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, guest, co-conspirator, whatever you want to call her. I have
Yeah.
Taji from Taji World of Books. Taji, do you want to give yourself a little intro?
You guys know me. I'm Taji from Taji's World of Books, all lover of all things dark romance. And I am here to hang out with Charles today to get some reading done and maybe drop a little hints of some things to come. So we'll see what we get into today. Mm.
So, our plan was until I showed up late. We were probably going to do like 10, 20, 10, 20.
Hmm.
But that'll be like 4 minutes from now until we have to start reading. So we may adjust that. We may just do one reading sprint. We're not 100% wedded to our plan, but how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Been busy today. Haven't gotten as much reading done, so this is perfect as I like to on a Saturday because we had some stuff to do today. So
Yeah.
this will be perfect timing. I want to get through. I'm reading I'm always reading something crazy. So we'll see how it
I
goes.
mean, when are you not reading something crazy?
Pretty much not ever. And if I am reading something not crazy, then I'm like, oh my god, I'm so bored. Why am I reading this?
I'm like, your go-to is like, oh, what is this angst? I knew a girl who was like kidnapped and sex trafficked in XYZ book. This
Mm,
guy just stood you up on a date. Get over it.
over it. You'll be fine, girl. You'll be all
I'm like,
right.
I'm like, the way to get Taji's heart is have some type of kidnapping, have some type of dark, dubious themes, have a great art.
Yep, yep. And I'm sold. I'm there for days.
100% sold. Especially tell you if it's steamy on audio, you're like, you'd be off to the races. And someone could give you a reading guide, you'd be like, it's on.
For sure, for sure. Oh my goodness. What's going on with you? What'd you do today?
I did a lot of yard work, which is not fun.
Not fun. No, on
Not
a
fun at
Saturday.
all.
And when it's hot too. It's too hot to be doing.
Yeah. It's hot in Bio in Virginia where I'm at.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah, same here. It's
80s,
too hot.
80s, 90s.
And you got
It
humidity
was
too.
like that kind of heat that like you step outside, you're like, I'm just sweating because there's like zero breeze, there's zero shade, and you're just like,
Hmm. Yeah, and the humidity is crazy too. At least like here, when you open the door, it's like dry heat. It's like opening the oven and sticking your head in the oven. You're like, I just sins in my nostrils, like my
you might
open.
as well just like stick anything like any like a frozen pizza, just like, okay, babe, just put the pizza outside put the pizza outside and let it cook outside.
You laugh. You know what? I picked my son up from school, and he had an art, like he did an art project, and it wasn't fully. It was like a little clay thing that he made on a little string to wear, and it wasn't fully dry. And he's like, "Oh no, it broke apart." So I was like, "That's okay." We kind of stuck it back together. I was like, "Put it on the dashboard, leave it in the car. It'll be like a clay oven. It'll just cook it." And that's what we did. And he was like, "It worked." I was like, "He's like, because we live in the desert." I was like, "We totally do." He's like, dry and like it's like we live in an oven out here. So that's
So if
my
you
parents.
catch Taji outside in the backyard, like cooking, and doesn't have a grill and just has like a bunch of clay pots and like aluminum foil, you know what she's doing.
I get nitty gritty with it. Like this is my parenting style. This is how I roll. We just go with it. Okay, got to use what you got.
Oh, like I forgot what live show I was on. I think I was doing a book club, and someone mentioned they don't like the captor captive trope in dark romance, but it was
Yeah,
a caveat. He says
yeah.
the female has to kidnap the male, and then he's into it. And we're like, wait, what?
Like, all
Like,
right.
can
Wait,
we
somebody.
can we revisit that? He's like, hey, if someone wants to take me away from my like my normal daily tasks and like struggles. I'm like, take me.
Somebody wrote it somewhere. Like trust somebody wrote it. Like that's like I was talking to somebody about like one of the books I read, and I was like, this is crazy. Like this is a fetish. And my friend was like, girl, she's like, there's a fetish for everything. I was like, okay, watching somebody drink milk out of a saucer. She's like, yep, there's cat fetish. She's like, there's a fetish for everything. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, pick it. It's gonna be out
That's
there. I was like, oh my
true.
god, that's crazy.
Some of the like I don't know if you have read any like the like what they call like the cute dad romance, like the dad and the little.
No,
I
like
read
a
one. I was like,
bear dad and like a twink. You mean, or like what?
oh,
Like
it's like someone who actually like the little actually kind of regresses to like a maybe like a say like a 10-year-old somewhere in that adolescent period,
oh
and
my
then they
god.
revert back to that. So it's like not just like kink is more of a lifestyle. So like
Right, right.
it's like you that's actually your parent. It's weird.
I think
It's weird.
Jade West wrote about, but it was like the dad and the little girl, but it was like that it was like daddy kink, like little girl kink, but it was kind of like I don't know. And one of her, I think it was in Dirty Daddies. I think that's like where they kind of touched on
Okay.
that a little bit. Yeah, it was either
Yeah.
Dirty Daddies or the other one that has her daddies tie, Sweet Dad, Sugar Daddy was in that,
Okay.
not Dirty Dad, because Dirty Daddies were the two daddies. So this was Sugar Daddy.
Let's get it correct now.
They're very different. Okay, they're very very different.
No, because I think one I read was like Newsboy by Susie Hawk.
Newsboy. Hmm.
That one was a little bit too much. I did not know what I was walking into. So like like the little regresses to like a toddler. Like he
Like
has his
literally.
own like playroom with like crayons and like little kid toys. I'm like,
I think that might make me a little like I might feel a little I don't know. There's like I don't have too many lines, but I might go.
I'm like, oh, I'm like, and then you want to make it steamy, but then I'm like, like I
I
read
know.
one steamy scene where like the little was in like a onesie and they were
No,
getting it on a bed of plushies. I was like, what?
no,
I was
no,
like, what is happening?
no. I
And
think
they're
I'll go.
popular. I was just like,
Mm-mm.
if you look on
No.
Amazon, like the top charts for like LGBT romances, you see quite a few of them. They may not look like they're sweet, but they're sweet. Like they're like that,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
within that
Very
subgenre.
interesting. Like I said, there is stuff out there to each his own. To each his own. As long as everybody's consenting adults, I'm all good. Like you do you. That's my caveat right there. Okay.
The way to get Taji and me convinced is like you say steamy, and then
Hmm.
we're like,
Hmm.
audio,
Hmm.
hmm, hmm,
Yep.
hmm,
Yep.
hmm, hmm.
Yep. I got you. I got you to read Charity B, didn't I? So you know,
Okay, let's talk. You're
I,
like blowing me up, trying to get me to read Anointed. I was like, Taji, I need a break from her insanity. Like those books are crazy.
cray cray, total cray.
Eh,
Hey, hey. Yes, they are. But you know what? Take a break because we still got some weeks. Take a break. You got to read it. You got to read it. Like, let me just say this. Let me just say this. Cult activity, crazy cult activity, and like mixing the concept of how to indoctrinate people where they really believe in this religious ideology.
mhm.
It could be, one could argue that there's a parallelism to Christianity, right? Because how do we know that we're not just indoctrinated into this ideology? But I digress. Cult activity, and yeah, it ends in an HEA. I will say that, and it does invoke strong emotions in you, both happy, sad, angry, want to throw the book across the room, frustrated, and also talking about like how the process of indoctrination occurs and also how the process of healing occurs and what does that look like. And so it borders on it's bonkers and it's gray and it's dark romance, but it's not dark romance because of what happens in the dynamic between the characters that fall in love. It's about all the other
The
dynamics,
world.
the world that makes it dark and really, and I can't wait to talk to her about it to kind of see the impetus and her thoughts behind the development of it. So that's my plug. I'll just say that and then I'll be quiet.
Okay. let me tell you when Taji recommends a book that she really loves, it's a slippery slope. Because then if I read Anointed, then she's gonna be like, "Oh, Charles, I read her other trilogy and like, oh my goodness, it was so good." I'm like, she's gonna have me read this author's whole entire backlist at this point. Because then, because then when we talk to Charity B, I'm what, like, what trilogy? I was like, oh yeah, I had some time. I just squeezed it in. No biggie. I'm
You
like,
did. No biggie. No biggie.
I was like, this was your plan all along.
No, it's not that. I just want to share the love. I want to share the goodness. And I will go down the path and I will read the books that you recommend for me. And I will do it happily with a smile on my face. But in the meantime, in my dark little soul, I want you to read all the nonsense that because I don't want to be the only one on this island over here with these crazy cult people. Like, I want to
I
bring some
mean, but like, if someone was like good looking and invited you to a cult, you'd be like, hmm,
back.
do I want to be a heroine in a Charity B novel? I need to
I
think about
don't
that.
know. I don't know. That's like, would I want to be a heroine in like a Pepper Winters novel? No, no, I don't trust you. Like, I gotta go through. You said I gotta go through what? Maybe something low.
You'd be like, hold up, what do I have to go through? I'm gonna have to do what?
Like,
Hold up.
no. I wanna read about it. And I was talking to somebody today because I've gone down the rabbit hole of like on YouTube in between reading. Like my downtime between reading is like watching
Hmm.
cave exploring disasters and like cave diving disasters. I don't know how I've gotten on this kick, but this is my thing. I love
Yeah,
to watch like stories of like somebody went cave diving and like where you have to like squeeze through an 18-inch hole and you got to compress your like whatever to
so
why
dangerous.
would you do that? But I can't look away. It's like one of those things. Um, and I was saying to somebody, I was like, I want to watch it. I want to watch cave diving. I want to see people climb Everest. I want to hear about all the tragedy that goes on. But ask me, am I ever going to go up on Everest? Nope, never. Am I ever going to go to cave? Nope, never. Like I want to watch it from afar, just like the dark romance. I'm watching from afar. Don't condone in reality. Don't want any part of it. But in the book, I'm like, oh my god, this is fascinating.
Oh my goodness. So if you didn't see like this hero was like super good looking, you wouldn't think twice?
I know. No, my personality, my personality is way too strong. That's why I'm like, I'm reading this stuff and I get so mad, and I'm like, oh hell no,
No.
what? I would be.
Here would
My
be
husband,
your dark romance novel. At the first triggering event, you'd be like, you out to the curb. Peace.
my
You
husband is like,
stalking me?
he's like, you have the patience of a gnat. He's like, there's no way. He's like, you're gonna be like, what? You better not, no. And he's like, settle down. It's not when you're not saying that. I get fired up. Let alone somebody tell me do XYZ thing. I can't even put myself in a BDSM
Hmm.
like a submissive role. I'd be like, you better give me that whip. Let me crop you.
You'd be like that one client who goes like, "Ow, that hurt." I'm like, "Hold on, give me that thing." How do you?
That's like,
And
the
then we
hell
see
is
on the
wrong
news
with
a woman in California recently just got arrested for battery charges.
you? Hey, you want to try out some cropping? I'll give you a little spanking, one little spank. What the hell? Get, bend over. Here you go.
So
Oh my
thank you
god.
to this comment for keeping us on track. What are you going to be reading?
Go for it. You want to say what you want to read, Charles, and I'll tell what I'm reading?
I am okay. No one judge me. I have a reading schedule, and it's I don't want to show it because it's like I have like 10, 20 books going on right now. I can't choose between them. But right now I'm reading Mafia King by L. Steele. It's
Hmm.
a dark mafia arranged marriage series.
And see, and you said that you didn't want to go down the dark reading rabbit hole. You're already in the hole.
Okay, but it's mafia. Okay, leave me alone.
But wait, it's mafia. It's different.
I'm like, I just got to the part where it reminds me so much of Sophie Lark. That what's the first book, Brutal Prince. It
Brutal Prince.
reminds me so much of that book.
Nice,
There's like a
nice.
scene that reminds me of what happens at the wedding scene. I
Oh,
won't say what the difference is, but I was like, oh.
So is it a trilogy? Is it a series? Is it a standalone?
So it's a trilogy, and then there's more books for other characters in the world.
Got it. So they're companion novels.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic.
So, hi
Fantastic.
Jen.
So I am reading Beauty's Kingdom. So it is the fourth book in the Anne Rice, written as A.N. Ruggiero, and it is her BDSM. Hence why I was talking about BDSM. It
Uh
is her
huh.
BDSM spicy not Cinderella. Listen to me.
It's Sleeping Beauty, right?
Sleeping Beauty retelling, where Beauty is awakened by a prince that forcefully takes her by, by storm. Ooh,
Ooh, that sounds good.
nice.
Teresa, I feel like Jen read another Teresa a while ago. It was a ghost historical romance. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I don't
I
remember.
feel like they did that for their book club a while ago.
Something like that. Something like that.
Oh, I do have to say I read that trope and I'm
Mm.
not mad at it.
So you guys got to educate me. So I don't know what is somnophilia. What is that?
So, without getting demonetized, it's essentially someone who likes to have steamy times with someone who is either fully unconscious or
Got
semi-unconscious.
it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Yep. 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 I'm
I
on.
was like, how can I explain this and not get banned from YouTube?
Yeah, just drop a couple little things, and I'm like, I'll pick up quick.
'Cause I read, I think J.L. Beck, no, is it Hitman? It's one of those books in like that dark club with
Mm,
like Adelaide Forest. There was like one book where that was like one of the heroes, like kink.
that was his thing.
Yeah, he
Okay.
had like a drug that would like paralyze her, but like she'll still be
A
conscious.
paralytic.
It's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Got it. There are a couple of books out there, that have, yeah, there are a couple of books out there that have that kind of thing going on. We know that Charity B's got one, and then
Ooh.
there's another one that's called, what's the other one it's called,
It's you're talking about the Skeleton King by Charity B.
Skeleton King, that's got that, and
That's
then
got
just
that.
a little bit different thing. And then there's another book that's called The Red Market. I can't remember who the author.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, there is another character in
Okay.
there where that is present as well. So, and it's always like one of those things where you just are like, oh my gosh, that's stuff that goes on in people's minds that they can write this.
But Jen, just try the Skeleton King.
I haven't read it yet. I've
I
heard
read that was the first one I read, and I was like,
I,
oh,
crazy. I think
it's
that was
funny.
one. I think one Jen was like, nope. That's where she was like, I draw the line. I put this down. I am DNFing this. I think that's what you said, but I can't remember Jen. So,
That one was just like I was like, oh, okay, okay. Oh, Jen did read it.
oh you oh you read it? Okay.
Okay.
I thought she DNF'd it. Okay.
I like the conflict that the heroine faces. Is like, what if he chooses a corpse over me? I
Don't
just
spoil, don't spoil it for me.
that's not a spoiler, but I'm like that is a hilarious thing to have in a romance. So you have to compete with someone who's dead.
Yeah, yeah. You're just like, how do I even keep up?
It's like imagine someone was like, "Sorry, I can't be in love with you because I have a thing with this ghost." It's just like it's just a spirit. Can't inhabit anyone's body. It's just like how do I compete with a
Well,
spirit?
we had the lady at Rooksgrave Manor. You had to compete with like the marble dude, and you had the little tentacle guy. So there's different stuff out
There's
there. Okay,
workarounds. There's workarounds. Oh,
that's not.
but Taji, you didn't tell us. Oh, yeah, you did tell us what you're reading. I
Don't get
forgot.
picky, Charles. Don't get too picky. All right. I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
So Taji's officially saying if a gargoyle tries to court you, don't just overlook the fact that he's made of stone.
If it's in the Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, it's all things go. Clearly with the tentacle dude. Clearly I can't get past the tentacle thing in that show. I was like, what is going on and where are all the tentacles going? I'm stuck on that stage, okay?
But I kind of really like what Monster Romance is doing. Cause like
hmm
you can take these like, cause I with the what's the series? Creature Cafe by Cleo Evans.
hmm
That book has every single pairing under the sun. I'm like, one
Wow.
book is like MM, the next book is FFM, the other book is like FF, and I'm like, But I love it because like you can, if you're like worried, like, oh, maybe I don't know if I want to read like a menage
Mm,
or whatever, another type of LGBT romance. You can read a monster romance because I'm like, hey, the monster's like not really human.
mhm, mhm.
It's like it's like a step further than paranormal
Got it.
because technically it's paranormal, but it's like heightened.
Heightened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next level. Next level. Yeah.
Yep. I respect that. I know Skeleton King is not for everyone.
Yeah. No.
Even me, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, Jen, I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this just for research purposes.
There you go. Oh, we have to get on.
Hey, there's
Mhm.
like when you read some new romances and then you're like, okay, what is that? I haven't read that. Like I didn't know like what was it, Primal Play? That's a
Ooh,
thing.
I don't know.
You haven't heard of that one? It's like
Mm.
where like one says go run and like it's like the chase.
Oh,
Like a predator trying to
got it.
chase his prey.
Got
Primal
it.
Play. I was
Got it.
like,
I
it's
got
like
it.
I was like, okay, I can
I've
vibe with
read
that.
it. I've read it and didn't recognize that that's what it was.
See, like it's I think sometimes there's things in books that don't have terms yet, and then when they get more popular, everyone's like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, okay.
Agreed. Agreed.
Okay, so should we how long do we want to read? Do we want to read until 9:46?
Until 6:46. Yeah.
Okay, switch it to your time. You knew what I was talking about, but you had to switch the time zone. And let me put on record, Taji was like messaging me like, aren't we supposed to have something in an hour? I was like, it should be in your calendar, Taji.
My calendar and queued up.
Mm,
That was my
mm.
way of saying be on time, and then you came late anyway. No, I'm too good.
Okay, I was on time. Taji was the one that was late. So she was like, "Oh, I'm reading this amazing book." I would just be like 5 minutes late. I'm like, "Oh, okay, but I was the one that was late.
I'm only teasing you. You know I'm gonna tease you. All right, so yeah, so you want to do it? So we're gonna do what? Is that a 20-minute sprint? Is that right?
Yeah, so I'll put it in the comments. Read until 9:46. And happy reading, everyone.
And then you'll pop on and or you'll like kind of interrupt our time and just say like, hey, it's time for
Yes. Okay, okay, okay. That is time.
It's so funny when your voice came in. I was like, "What the heck? I'm not. Hang on." I'm like, oh, that was good.
I should have just asked. I should ask Troy to send me a clip saying, "Okay, time is up," and just play it. I just out the blue, I'm like, "Hey, what?"
Hmm.
Thinking your audiobook is now saying, "Your time of reading is up now."
Yeah, yeah. There you go. That was good.
So, how much progress did you make? I know it wasn't a ton of time.
It was a ton time, but I made a little bit. I made a little bit of progress. Like I said, I had so much to do today that I haven't gotten as much reading done as I wanted to, and I really wanted to read this because there's so much controversy around this trilogy because of the way that the information is delivered, and you can tell that she wrote this book in a different time. She wrote this in 2015, it looks like, and so therefore
Oh,
the
what do you
tone.
mean? What do you mean how it's written?
Well, because it's basically a BDSM retelling of Snow White or and Beauty, right? And when the Prince Charming comes in to awaken her, he doesn't awaken her with a kiss. He awakens her with a non-consent situation. He has sex with her, and that's
Okay.
how he awakens her. And then when he awakens her, he takes her as a pleasure slave, and he strips her of all of her clothes and makes her walk through her village and through her town and into his village totally naked with her hands clasped behind her head, and she is now his first love slave. It's drama. It's some drama, okay? Yes. And when you're
I
reading
mean,
this,
you just convinced
so
me to read it.
you are so charged though, because it's like, but you don't really understand what's going on. So in the beginning, you're like, is this forced? Is this, do people want this? Do they want to be treated in this way? Because it feels like subjugation and
Hmm.
punishment and lots of like spankings and whippings and degradation. And you're like going, what is going on in this world? But then the more that if you stick with it, the more that you read it, all sort of comes together, and you can see why they did what they did and what happened. And it's a
Okay.
fascinating story, but it's again, it's written in a way that's like,
You
it's
gotta keep on reading.
and it's erotica for sure. It is like a straight erotica on the page, and she gives you an intro as to why she wrote it this way and what she's doing, and it's just, woo, it's some stuff. It's some stuff. It's a trilogy, and like I said, and this is then the. I think the first is called like the Awakening of Beauty, and
Yeah.
then the Punishment of Beauty, and then it's Beauty's Release. Or it's like the three main, and then this book takes place 20 years later, and it's sort of like the culmination of everything. So
It's like that, like an epilogue book.
yes, yes.
Okay. I
So
want to
it's
read. So I want to read Interview with the Vampire because the adaptation is coming September or October.
oh really?
Yeah, it's on AMC if I
Ooh,
remember, and I think it was a big deal because like the Rice family was directly involved. Because they said,
nice.
I know they said like Anne Rice hated the Interview with Vampire movie with Tom Cruise and Queen of the
Oh,
Dam with Aaliyah. So like
oh,
she
really?
was like 100% involved. And I like it. They race bent. I don't know if the characters are black in the book, but Louis, I
Yeah, I'm
think
not.
Louis or something, the one who gives the interview in the future time,
Oh,
he's
that's right.
he's a African American.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, he's
fantastic.
a you watch Game of Thrones?
I do.
He was Missandei's boyfriend.
Nice. He's a good actor. He's a
Yeah,
really
that's him.
good actor. I love him. Okay,
So I'm like,
fantastic.
I'm a kind of adopting. I hate to admit this, but I'm adopting your reading style, Taji, and
What is that?
we're like instead of like just reading various books constantly, now I'm like, okay, I really love this author. Let me read her backlist.
It's
And
so
I'm like,
good.
dang you, Taji. Now I'm like, okay, now I want to read the series back to back to back to back to back. And like I want to read this series this world in a certain order or I'll be very angry. I'm like, dang you, Taji.
I'm telling you, it works. It work for me. It works. I love to be immersed in a world, and I love to be all there because you get the little nuances. Now, if a writer writes in a way that everything is consistent and they have the same, every character has the same voice, and it gets kind of repetitive, then that gets a little bit hard. But if they're like unique, like the way J.T. Gessinger writes, or Maggie Cole writes, or Sophie Lark, where each character is unique and fun, and I want to be all in the world because I want to get the little Easter eggs and all of that. So, but yes, I am. That's what I do. I'm a purist in that sense.
Yeah,
So,
I'm at 100% on your wavelength. Like I kind
mhm.
of just have my currently reading, and instead of after I finish those books, instead I like kind of go back and like see like, okay, I really like this book. Let me continue on
Yeah.
with this series instead of going like, oh, look at that shiny new book. I still buy that shiny new book, but I
Oh
don't
yeah.
read it.
Yeah. No,
I
no, no. It's
wait.
true. You will.
I wait.
You will get there. You will get there. You
I
know.
will. I will. I'm making baby steps. I'm making baby steps from my book. I only read 2 chapters, and then I read something.
See, then so as you're like saying that, like, how can you read 2 chapters in one and then jump to another? That's like for me. That's like watching a show
Okay.
in the middle and then going, I'm gonna take a pause on this and go
I
finish
will
watching
show you if it shows up on screen. I have like a oh no, it's gonna blur it out. But
it
I
out.
have
But tell
like
me.
a to-do list of like all the chapters I want to read by day.
Oh
And
wow. So
so
you're
for like Mafia King, like I only wanted to read 2 chapters today. Like it's my background book.
nice, nice. I got it. So
Technically,
you
I read the ebook,
know. Hmm.
but I'm listening to the audio, and the audio just whew, it starts off with a bang.
It
Hero
is.
Hero is like shows up, and the heroine's like, "Who are you?" Father owes a debt. He reneged. He's coming to kill her, but he's the woman. Like the heroine is a woman that he sees in his dreams, and he's fantasized
Oh,
about for years.
when you said he's a woman, I was like, wait, what?
No, no, I I bought the explanation, but like the first encounter that they have, he tells her to run. I was like, oh,
Ooh, I
and then
love
instead
that.
of killing her, he's like, okay, tell your sister you're gonna be gone for like and like for unknown amount of time because you're gonna marry. I'm like, what? This
What?
is 2 chapters.
You're like, this is how we're doing it. Okay.
I'm like, okay. I'm like, and the audiobook is amazing. It's narrated by Jason Clark and Roxy Isles.
Not familiar with Roxy, but Jason Clark does a good job.
Whew. I was like, this book is already like starting off with the steam. I'm like, okay, okay,
Nice, nice. Okay,
okay,
all
okay,
right. So, and
okay. You got it.
who is the author again?
L Steele,
L. Steele. Okay,
like Steele.
okay,
So it's just like L period Steele.
got it, got it.
Yeah,
I'll
she
have
has
to.
a billionaire series all on audio. She's really good about that. She gets all just produced by Shanice production company. It's like
Oh,
Anna Duran, Jody Ellen, Malpus. They all
mm-hmm.
come from
That
that
whole
company.
whole yeah,
So
nice.
you know the audio is gonna be good.
Hmm. For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So we did well. And we'll
But you
see.
and your
Like
big headphones.
I got my big headphones, yes, but they work for me, so I can like drown out everything else. So do I go into
Hey,
my I immerse myself into the world,
that's
and
fair.
it works.
That's
It
fair.
works
That's
for me.
fair. That's fair.
So what else do you have on the agenda for reading? Like, so now you finished those 2 chapters. What are you going to go into now?
I'm actually done. I'm reading stuff for tomorrow. I'm already a day ahead. That's what happens. I
Oh,
I I I set it lower so then I read faster than my schedule. Then I have to my schedule so that I feel more accomplished. I'm like, oh wait, I
mm,
finished XYZ books. So I think I have a lot. I have like some YA arcs that I'm reading. One is really good. These
mm,
Fleeting Shadows by
mm.
Kate Ellis Marshall. It's really good. It's like imagine Knives Out mixed with like a gothic type vibe and make it YA. And it's
Nice.
actually like kind of scary.
Potential. That has potential. Yeah.
It's actually kind of scary. So like they all reunite for the main character's mother's father. I'm explaining it wrong. They all go back to this house. They're a rich family, and they
Yeah.
go back to the manor because their father died. And our main character, her mother, hates her father, never wants anything to do with the house. But then there was a twist where if she stays in the house and becomes like mistress of the house, for a year, she receives $40 million.
Well, you can make anything work for you.
But the house is creepy AF.
Yeah.
Like when they start, well, after the funeral, when they try to leave, all of a sudden the car broke down. I'm like, this
Uh,
has a writing all on the walls. Run!
I'm gonna have to message you about that one. That sounds fun. I might check that one
It's
out.
good. It's YA though, so I'm like,
You know,
I
just
want to temper that, but
yeah, yeah,
it's good. It's good so far. How about for you? What after you finish your Anne Rice binge? What's gonna
yes.
be
I'm
your
gonna
next
finish this.
binge?
I'll finish this. I'm going out to dinner after this, so I probably won't finish it tonight. So I'll finish
Okay.
it tomorrow morning, and then I gotta read a little plug for Crystal's Bookish Life and for Jen and from the Book Refuge. We're all going to be on a live show talking about Empire of Storms on Wednesday at 7 Central Time. So I got to prepare for that. So I'm going to read Empire of Storms from SJM tomorrow. So I'll either finish it tomorrow or finish it Monday morning. So I'll just immerse myself in SJM. So I'm excited about that. What was the little, I didn't get to see the comment. I missed it.
Oh,
Since I was like running through my thoughts.
it's Rachel.
Oh,
She's reading
Empire of
Empire
Storms.
Storms
Yes,
as well.
Rachel.
And then
Yeah.
I started I'm glad my mom died, but then I stopped. But it was really good for what I read.
So I
Have you
saw
read it?
it came up on my like recommendations on Instagram, and I was like, "What is
Mhm.
this?" And I was like, "I don't know about this," so I ignored it. But it's really good.
Yeah, so no spoilers. Like you know her from iCarly, right?
Yes,
Like child star.
yes.
So it's essentially about how it's about her kind of abusive slash toxic relationship with her mother. So that's why it's saying I'm glad my mom died.
Yeah, I
And
figured it
it's
was.
real she calls it Ariana Grande apparently in the book. Like it was a huge thing.
Wow, wow. So she's like no holds, like she's not pulling any
No
punches.
holds barred. And it's short on audio. I think it's like maybe 6 hours.
Oh, that's quick.
Yeah,
That's
it's a really quick memoir. Like I think I probably read like maybe 10 chapters of it so far.
yeah. I'll
Don't
put it.
ask me why I stopped. I have a bad habit. Like I will start a book and then be like, oh wait, is that okay? Kick that book to the curb,
We know how you do, Charles.
and then somehow manage to finish it.
But to Jen's comment, I am super excited to read
Mhm.
Empire Storms. I'm like really excited because the second time around when I'm reading it, I'm digesting more of the content. Whereas like the
More
first time
detail.
around, I'm like trying to get to like what's going on and what's happening with the romance and I'm rushing through it. Whereas this time I feel
Mhm.
like I can savor it like a good wine,
Mhm.
and so I'm really excited about it. So we'll
Yeah, that
see.
sounds cool. Like I agree with that because I find some people may find this controversial. Like I read for the overall like story. I don't care about the details or like how a character specifically looked or da 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 da. I
Hmm.
want the overall details, and then that's why I come back for a reread. And I'm like,
Hmm.
oh wait, I totally missed this like little side plot that they
Exactly.
had in this book. Because I'm like, it's hard to like capture everything
It
all
is.
at once when you're reading a book, especially if it's like high fantasy or something like that. You're like, I just need to know who are my main characters and where we're going.
Yeah.
I will pick up all these details. I'm impressed with some readers can like clock all these details in the book. I'm like,
On
oh
the
wait,
first
that did happen. On the
round.
first read, I'm like, oh wait, did that happen?
Mm.
Hold
I'm like,
up, when
I
did
missed
it
that.
happen?
I missed that.
I missed that. Did I read the same book?
Maybe because you're reading at like 3.5 speed. Like it comes on and it comes on in the car, and like Sebastian goes, "Why is a chipmunk reading?" Because it's like,
You know it's bad when you get like halfway into a book and then you can't for the life of you remember what the hell the book is about. So you have to stop it and go back and re-listen.
Charles, are you still reliving like what was it, the Empire or the Vampire with what's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Remind me of his name. You were
Jake
so
Kristoff.
Jay Kristoff. You were like, I had to start this day 3 times. And I'm like, how many times?
It happened yesterday. I was reading a book by Liza James. Like
Yes.
she's a dark FF writer, sapphic writer. And
Mm-hmm.
I got to like halfway through the book and I was like, what the hell is going on?
You're like, I just wasted 3 damn hours. Now I gotta start all over again.
I was listening to it while I was working and I was like, I don't remember anything that happened.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh crap, I have to start this book. over again.
That's why I am like that happens to me often when I'm reading fantasy. If I'm reading high fantasy and there's like world building and magic systems and like, Victoria Schwab, like, right, or
Mhm.
Brandon Sanderson, when I first started out reading, that's what I was reading. And I was like, what? Who is that character and what world am I in and what kind of magic does he have? And I thought that was a
I thought
ghost.
you were dead, but you were alive. And then who was that?
So
Like,
confused. That's why I was like, I need a lot simpler things in my life. Like I
yeah.
was like, let me step away from these real high fantasies and just have something much more like where I don't have to learn
Mhm.
the whole world and then keep up with the plot. And you've introduced 30 characters like in the first three chapters that is too much.
I'm like, bruh,
No.
I can't compute.
Mm-mm.
Who?
Mm-mm.
That's the biggest turnoff when I had to take notes while reading a book to understand what's going on. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. You can't be introducing too much to me too quickly. Like I just
I
you know,
just tune out. I was like, okay, I'm just going to ride the waves and just hope I can make sense of what's happening.
and then I don't have to restart this daggone book. But you know what? It's not so bad when you're on your own because then you can like, you can decide whether you want to or not. But when you have like it's an arc or you had an obligation to like you're
Mhm.
doing like a live show or something, you're like, daggone it! So now I gotta go back because I
You
gotta read
gotta actually like be able to talk about it.
my pressure.
Like, why are you asking me questions about what I'm reading? Like, how dare you?
Putting me on the spot, making me think.
The easiest way to tell if a booktuber has read a book, ask them to give you a very detailed synopsis.
Oh gosh, yeah,
Oh my, but what is coming? Let's talk about a little bit what's coming up next. We have Charity B on your channel
yeah.
on,
The 18th.
is it the 18th?
It is September 18th. I put a bookmark, a book placer there for it at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and
9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern. And I thought it would be an interesting time to kind of, because she's, put out a number of books that are,
Mhm,
this is going to be like our controversy corner, if you will, because she
mhm.
puts out some things that like make people go, really?
Like,
Really? You did that?
you did that? Are you sure you did that?
You sure you wanted to put that in the world?
Hold on, let me like. You should see this author writing. Like, what is she writing?
And for some people it's like I there are two camps, right there.
Mhm.
When you go on Amazon and I'm of in my little twisted mind, okay, I'm of the camp when I read the review and they go, this is smut, this is trash, this is rape, this is that. I was like, what, let me put this on my TV. That is like advertisement for me when they were like, this should be banned. I don't want, like, you just put banned on it and I'm like, damn, get that for me right now. Okay. And then there's the other camp that is just like, no, absolutely not. I'm
Mhm.
not doing that. This is pushing the envelope too far. And so I just, I want to talk to her to kind of get a sense of the impetus for how she writes, where she gets her stories from, because she writes all the way from like the taboo to the cult situation to like,
Religion
a
too.
paranormal demon world where she creates like a world of a combination of Greek gods and Olympus tapped into like in a demon realm. And so it's going to be it's going to be a fascinating sort of interview and conversation with her just to kind of see what her thought process is.
Yeah, and two, if you guys want to read some of her books in order to prepare, because it will be spoilery.
Yeah.
We'll try to keep it as minimal on spoilers, but it's probably gonna be heavily on the spoilers. So we're reading The Skeleton King, Incubastard, R.I.P. Those are the official three books.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Taji's gonna. I'll read Anointed for you. So Anointed will be added to the list as well. And then I think she has a trilogy, but I think that might be a little bit too much to go into an all-in-one conversation. So
Yeah.
four books, all
Yeah.
on KU.
Yeah.
Sorry, no audio, but
No.
they aren't crazy long. They're like probably like 250 pages.
Yep. Yep. And so we're doing that. So I think that's going to be interesting, fun times. And then we've got a couple of other things in, what is it? What is it?
Yeah, I get that.
In its own way. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally get it. Totally
Yeah,
get
'cause
it.
she definitely writes. She's more on the dark romance spectrum, where I think you can argue that it may be done for shock value a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
like why the story had to be told in that particular way or had that particular element in it, versus
Mhm.
like just dark romance that's like very dark, but it takes you through like kind of like when we talked about This Love Hurts by Nikita. I
Yeah.
would consider those two different. Like
Yes.
This Love Hurts is dark and is explicit,
Yes.
but I don't think it's necessarily unless those things are triggering for you. I
Hmm.
definitely think that's a more palatable read. Like with Charity B, some of her books you'd be like, "What's in that book?"
Right. Right.
And her books are I'm proud of her, like, that her books are still on Amazon.
Yes.
RIP, I did not realize, like, what the romance was gonna be in that book, and I was like, "Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. How did this escape Amazon's notice?"
We like snuck in. We snuck it in the back door. You
And
know.
it's been on there for a while. I was like, "Okay, I like it. I respect the
But
hustle."
but you're right though. Like there are certain books like that book, The Red Market by Mary. It's Mary E.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Marin. I read that book, and that book disturbed me. That
Mhm.
disturbed because there are some because it's about like the organ donor
Yeah,
market,
organ tracker thing.
market, organ trafficking, but there's some other stuff that's in there as well that's similar to the Skeleton King that
Mhm.
happens, and not with the main character, but with other character. And that one was like, and like I said, it takes a lot to disturb me. There was the other one that I told you, that was about the school teacher that was like
Oh, is that Tampa?
Tampa. That
Tampa,
book,
I remember you told me about that one.
no, I was like, I'm done. This is
Mhm.
terrible. And I was like, I was like, what do you even do with a book like this? I can't give it in the donation pile because I don't want some hapless person's, happening upon it at like the Goodwill. Like this is, no, I don't want to do that. So somebody, I think it was you, somebody said to me, I'm going to use it for a firewood at that. And I would never do that with a book ever because I think books are like sacred. But this book is so daggone disturbing because it's about a teacher that grooms a little boy and destroys his life. And I'm just like, why would you ever write this? Why would you ever put this on paper? Like, I can't believe that this is even out there. But,
Mhm.
there's all kinds of stuff out there. So that's just my opinion. What did Jen say?
Oh, it was funny, but he still gets I mean, that's kinda true, vampires are dead. I
Oh,
love when you get into technicalities, you're like, "Oh, wait, that technically falls under that too." If a human and a vampire get it on,
right, right, right.
the vampire is
Technicalities,
technically dead.
yes, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we got that coming, and we got a couple of other things that we're planning on doing, and so we'll kind of trickle things out as we get our
as we
little
kinda
hot fingers
finalize everything.
finalize the details, but more to come for sure.
Yes, but
What
this
do you
was
want to say about that? Anything?
oh, nothing, I was just gonna wrap us up.
Sounds good.
But yeah, so Charity Bee on your channel, 18th, is already pre-populated. So go and hit the reminder so you are reminded when we go live for that show. Read Charity Bee's books if you feel comfortable. If you don't, we still would love you to join us and just talk and pick our brain about dark romance because
Yeah,
I think it is an interesting topic to discuss.
and what I told people on my channel, because people are sort of interested, but people are intrigued. And I said, if you're nervous, then check out the live show. No, we're gonna like do spoilers, kind of see and listen and hear, and then go, oh, that might be of interest to me. That I'll
And then
pick
go
that
read it.
in particular. I don't. I'm gonna step
Mhm.
away from this over here because that's a little too cray cray for me, and then do that, and that might work better for you. So all are welcome. All are welcome.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's helpful to know the spoilers about some of these more darker
Yeah,
taboo so you can make like a more educated because of course it's not going to be on any review on Amazon
yeah,
or in the summary of like the book on Amazon as well. Like you
totally,
have to you're gonna have to get the real tea from people who actually read the book. But
sure, for sure.
thank you guys so much for joining us for this hour-long reading sprint. I know it wasn't a lot of reading, but it was nice to hang out with everyone. And thank you again for Taji, my fearless co-host slash co-conspirator. I'll leave her channel link down below, so definitely go subscribe to her. She is pumping out the videos left, right, and center. If you want to know the tea about a series, Taji's your person. But thank you guys again so much for watching, and we'll see you on Taji's channel on the 18th. All right, bye everyone.